drinks. Okay, give a bit of an update. Make sure everything is working right now. Yeah, I updated the Kindle. Well, it's the ebook version. The print is fine. The ebook, I kind of. And the first book, I have to do an update on that one, but it's a little bit better. I mean, you have to kind of rebuild the whole thing. So it's kind of, yeah, they're not making it easy. I have one, yeah, you do the EPUB, it looks great. Then you upload it to Kindle, it doesn't work. So, there's all these different versions. Yeah, you have to make it. You go from a PDF to like a MOBI file and then to an EPUB. But the EPUB works just marvelous. From a PDF, it's great. But Kindle does not like it, so that's on them. So yeah, making life difficult. So the first book, the ET guide, I still have to update that one. I updated it, but it's not right, so I have to update it again eventually when they approve it. Who knows when that'll be. Should be, I don't know. Yeah, you have the new book that's out too. So, alright, I got another one out the 16th. And I got another one I'm playing with, whatever I can find to put in there. I might be running out of subject matters. So anyway, so Tolkien's Middle Earth. I wasn't aware. I'm not that familiar with Tolkien stuff, but the ice wall that's surrounding Middle Earth, which is interesting because it looks like Atlantis. The way it's all circles, like you have a circle within a circle. Always that's what at least one of the versions I saw of it. So of course, I've talked about this in the past. Even there's alien races that are elf-like, and I would say a lot of our DNA comes from the elves, also like the tall elves. So basically aliens with pointy ears. Of course, it's funny how Spock seemed like he's unique with pointy ears, but that's actually very normal within many alien races. Actually, what is it? You call them elf races, you can call them whatever you want, but I believe the pointy ears are pretty common. Even some people here feel like they look at their ear formats, they kind of look a bit pointy. Of course, also is some people have like vampire teeth, which is not always something to be bragging about. Especially one individual I knew in the past, she was, yeah, can't let it go, huh? Just can't let go of that vampirism. So yeah, of course, a lot of Tolkien's work was inspired just by the mythology. It had to come from somewhere, right? It come from the Irish, the Danann, something like that. Of course, I'm not going to say that's been taken and used, but others been taking the name and using it for their own username. But yeah, I'm not going to go into that. That was a bit cryptic there. But a lot of the Middle Earth came from German mythologies, but Middle Earth came from Irish mythology. Yeah, the fairies and everything. So, and the fairies and dragons and all that play a big role. Yeah, in English, folklores, because they were there or still there. So it just it's basically just parts of like a Garth, it does definitely looks like Middle Earth, or yeah, very. Yeah, Tolkien's, it just took it to a whole nother level for sure. But I believe a lot of that is, I mean, you create your own reality, so it's, but everything exists at some level, so. But yeah, you can't go wrong. I mean, yeah, you can't go wrong. Well, sort of. I've had interactions with dragons a long time ago. It's been a long time. Well, when you have an actual, like, they come out of nowhere. Like, I only have one interaction like that. I can feel their frequency blocking some of the entities that are here. So, but yeah, I never had a run-ins with any fairy. I know fairies do steal stuff. I might have had that happen. I just not. I don't know. And they put it to cats a lot. Always they have in the past. I mean, not so much anymore, or right now at least. But sometimes they might pop in every now and then when the cats go crazy. Usually it's a fairy being that's around, so that's fine. Yeah, and they sleep on the cats, which is freaking hilarious. So we're going to Tolkien's energy. Yeah, because the ice wall is kind of symbolic, you could say. Avatar private sessions. Scheduler, you have the shop. Of course, I have to get rid of this thing, actually. Oh, whoops. Yeah, we have the deep dive. I put the link here, and the other book is here too. And the next one is on its way. That might be the end of it. We'll see. So yeah, Tolkien's, just a different, even Orion races have a lot of elf frequencies. Some of them are the bad elves. Definitely have run into the bad guys, in the past. Yeah, I forgot how I triggered it, but I had an elf hanging around me for a couple of days. It was just was it Hellboy Part 2 has kind of a questionable elf. I don't know, maybe not. There's a lot of Orion elf energies, and let's put it that way. I think they're kind of good guys, bad guys, or something like that, or a little bit of. Anyway, it's a lot of conflict there. Yeah, it's all just they keep us well. It's different ways of looking at like why our world is walled off, like in the ice wall energy. It's just I don't know. I think it's similar to like the flat Earth energy, just keeping us out of different realms. And the ice wall is just whatever you feel. I mean, some people like we're in a dome or not. There's an ice wall, whatever. They're obviously retrieving memories that they're the reality they came from. And the alpha energy that's here. I mean, of course, it goes to the trees through all of nature. They're assisting us. A lot of the elf people are gardeners preserving the Earth's energy. So, yeah. And of course, in media, they're kind of there's different ways to look at it in the media. But yeah, those 3 movies for Lord of the Rings are quite intense. That's for sure. It's long, they're like 4 hours long or something like that. So I guess I'm going into some of the elf some of the elf frequencies, and then go into the wizards. And go into the ice wall energy fields. I don't know. It's everybody has their own take on everything. So there's a version for everybody, but doesn't mean it's always helpful. Of course, also the battle for Mother Earth, or for Mother Earth to, she opened the door for all this to occur. Well, there's a lot of alien races, obviously even elf beings that cause trouble here, but that's just to make this planet better. To they challenge it. I can call it maybe the Illuminati. You can say they just challenge. They just cause all this hell here to better society. To you might call hate them for it, but really is for society to improve and to move forward and and it's just brutal, and it asked for it in the past, and so and not letting up, as you can see. It just can't get through the mind control. A lot of it's political right now. I'm looking for the savior. Feels good. But I think once it sits in, just the truth will come out. I don't know, it's this government. When you think like the good guys are really out there, it's like I don't know. It's all because people. You can't have. I mean, I guess you can have sort of a hero, but you kind of have to save yourself. There has to be some effort there. So you can say Biden force people to force people onto themselves, try to figure out reality and maybe connect to a darker version of themselves, whatever it might be. But this government system, extremely reptilian, but not to say we're out of the woods with the new administration, as some might think we are. Yeah. So that's the way it is. Yeah, and was it the NPC energies that are here? Yeah, the holidays feel very NPC. Feels very. I mean, it's convoluted holiday ideas you get with family. Hopefully, they're not completely psychotic. And just give you a day off and all that. I think people need like a year off or more than that. I think for the most part, you just need a big break from everything. At least the U.S. There's places around the world that are already on a vacation, but U.S. needs a major break. Just they've been through enough as it is, and give their power away to all these politicians. That's not healthy either. It's just how can you connect to yourself when you have all the stress of life? And there's a purpose to that. But it's like you kind of stop your reality to figure yourself out. Sometimes some are avoiding themselves. Sometimes it's an inner goal to accomplish what you're doing. It's all, we came here to work, you can say. Some have, so not everybody, but we're here to balance it out. I mean, we're all working. The whole world's working within itself. Some might be pushing back. Well, maybe there's a lot more pushback, but it is in the long run for us to be better. In the long run, you don't have to like what the Illuminati beings. You don't have to like what they're doing, but I feel like they are pushing here just to help us move to the next level too. So, and it's hard. So, all right, going to the elf energies and the ice wall. Let's see what comes from that. I don't think much will come from that, but I'll go to elf energies and then the dragon, if I remember. Sorry for buzzings. Greetings to you with the elf collective. Yes, tall elves for there's all elves. Elvis. He's a naughty elf. Not that you're looking about Elvis, but his voice came from some other. Yeah, he kind of borrowed it. He made it his own, but I would say his voice came from someplace else. Like he heard it somewhere, so you hear like a sound, and then you build on it. So you hear it's like I like to sound like that. So you take that sound, and you change it. There are some birds, or many, that have a great singing voice. They probably out-sing Elvis. if there's a singing match. Yeah, there's a Tweety bird out there. Yes, we'll just leave it at that. So, our connections to your world went to yours, yes, consciousness of your ancient times. Yeah, it took a lot of risk, but to connect to the ugly side of itself, but also to create a physical realm. It was like a non-physical and physical realm, and to bring in this an intense physical realm was to just bring in all this darkness. So you can look at the darkness here contributing to physicality here. Well, you see how, I mean, it's like if you're extremely positive, you're high as a kite, right? You're floating. Well, if you go through all these difficulties, war and, ugliness, or soul ugliness, it grounds you. So negativity, depending on, at least on this planet, creates the physical world. Of course, you have positivity and negative mixed in, but it really does create your physical reality. It's one of the major factors to it. Yes, it could be lighter, it could be easier, but this one was going for the brute force version. And also, if you don't not have to be here forever, like 100 is max, or 60, or for some 50. Yeah, it's just, yeah, because it is kind of like, and that's why things are so slow on your planet. It has to do with the physicality of it. It's only so much you can handle, because it's like a caliber of physical, the depth of it. Like you see your hand and see the physical strength, the heaviness of it. Some might not always see that, but I think some of you understand. Yeah, sometimes you have to get in a car to go quickly. Of course, you can always run, or your energy does move quickly, but getting you to slow down has to just, there's benefits to it, to see another side of yourself, because you can go too fast. But when you go slow, more, just more perfection comes out of that. You're taking your time, your little details. Like you have a painting, it has all these details. You're going about it slow. So you're adding more detail to yourself by being here. Now, what does that mean exactly? You might be adding a dash of crazy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And yes, may have trust issues here. Some give away their power too easily when they're young, and then they have trust issues. Yes, the patience. Yeah, patience is like, you should get an award for that. It's like as some of you know, especially when you're reconnecting to your alien selves, you're just ready for everything to happen now. Nothing wrong with it. Technically, it is happening now in some other realm. But here it has it's just stopping and just taking it easy, patience. You get rewarded for it, and yes, patience can be brutal, can be horrible. But like I say, it's a test for the higher dimensions. Now, there are many beings here incarnated that have perfected it. Now, you can call them NPCs if you want. There's some truth to that. Well, they don't need a lot of their soul here. It doesn't mean it's a negative. It's that, yes, they're phoning in their incarnation, but they're doing certain elements here that are necessary. Yeah, it's kind of like your left hand has the earth incarnation, your right hand is doing something else, and so on. Something like that. But you want your connection here, because everyone has a contribution to this reality, even if you don't think so. I think some of you can pick up on. Well, as you evolve, you see more of it. It's creating this painting that you're involved with, this creation. And of course, you're not going through all these challenges It all makes sense. You look back and say, oh, that all makes sense. But going through it doesn't, because you are getting to a soul level. Now, what is the purpose of that soul level? It's different individually. Some of you are looking for more responsibilities in the universe. Like, I want to be managing a planet, or I want to be a better Mother Earth or Father Earth or so on, because you can create all the worlds that you want, but managing them is a whole other story. And yeah, so you can say it's easier to destroy, but sometimes destroying has a purpose. Like, things need to come to an end. Like you see in anything. Your soul still exists, but even your soul can still go through a rejuvenation. I mean, yeah, a part of you might die out, but you can create another version of yourself. And if you want to go back to an old version, but I'm not sure why you would want to do that, but you can if you want to. It'll find its way back. Some might, yeah, for example, some might like living in the 1950s, but modernizing it, which you see that right now. And even your elites, they see your society and they're like, wow, this is what you want? Yeah, they can be brutal here, but they can't always stop everything or create what they really want. If that was the case, yeah, you'll be probably living underground in slave societies. But they'll program you to accept it, like you're accepting this reality. Now, some of you are deprogramming all of that. Not easy. Well, you want something new. And there's nothing wrong with that. And society is adjusting with you with that. But obviously, the aliens that come. Only reason the aliens, well, one of the reasons, is they'll take people out of there. It's like, it can't happen. It's going to cause a major shockwave across the planet. It'll be exciting for the most part. People will be terrified because you know how they are. When they're not aligned with themselves, which are many, they think the worst. But they can also attract that too. Like, you have your aliens show up and everything's fine, but then an alien that has a weak spot can be manipulated by society and become the villain. You want me to be a villain? I'll be the villain. It's like another alien's looking at that like, oh, well, it was inevitable. And now they can sometimes see that, but yeah. But the elf frequency is connected to you is basically, well, the reason why I don't have points, you can have all the pointy ears you want, but it was really to disconnect you from, it's make your human self just very unique. Like, you don't look like dog people, you look like cat. You have pieces of it, yes. Some people, you can really look, say, yeah, I gotta look like a cat, don't I? Or look like a dog, and so on. It's in the human form of it. Yeah, it's just to kind of like for this human incarnation, it's just for it to be its own species. Like, you're making it your own. And obviously, as the pointy ears can come back at some point for some. And some might look more reptilian, even green-like. And blue people, you're not quite there yet. But that's inevitable at some point. But it can still be a physical reality. But I believe the dragons have a message, so. Grace, we had a dragon collective. Self-love, that's one of the issues here. There's souls, yeah, they incarnate here, and they go right into their darkness, and it can be muddy. But at least this world gives you opportunity to discover that side of yourself. Because there's realms that you cannot do that. But it's also a way of seeing that darkness, but also moving above it. Like, well, balancing it is probably a better word for it. You still can have it. It's not a puddle of doom. It's not World War III. I mean, you can have your own World War III within yourself, as some of you see with your thoughts. I can just blow my head up right now just for worry and whatever it is, propaganda, whatever it is. This world is quite unique. And there is a ghost realm which many of you are working on healing, but they're stubborn, yes, stuck there for now. It just, and that will probably be there for quite some time. For your future Earth, for like alien and dragon connection, well, tattoos is a part of it. Culture, the culture has to shift for more welcoming to aliens and the fantasy realms. You're getting there. So these new generations, even the 20 somethings, a lot of them are rebellious, and you'll get more and more of that in your future. Just cutting out the old, even newspapers will probably eventually won't exist anymore. Of course, you still have other propaganda to go through. So you're not out of the woods yet because it can get pretty brutal, but you just become more aware. Such as, it's kind of like an episode of the X-Men. You reconnect to your powers. Some are still not connected to your powers. Those are connected to your powers. You're already dealing with this already. You have the good guys and the bad guys. That still exists. As some of you develop spiritually, you run into someone else that's spiritual, and they might be villainous. So yeah, you're going to see more of that over time. It's just your version of it. You're not zapping. Well, you can still zap someone with your eyes. You just don't see a laser beam, but technically that does exist. So all these things exist, and you're bringing. It's just culturally, it has to kind of agree to, on a world scale, to accept that more part of your main timeline reality. Basically, it's just more conversation. Oh, you're one of those fairy people. You're one of those alien people. That's still kind of in the back lines, and people aren't. It hasn't quite registered yet. That's why you have like movies that bring this stuff. It's kind of preparing you for what's to come. At least it's propaganda, sort of. But it's also showing you other realities you can tap into to learn about yourself, or just be whoever you want to be. I'll leave you with that.